Ciao! Those of you who know me may be a bit surprised to see me here shooting a video because I'm not usually that active with videos. However, recently I have had a goal that I set for myself, I've been working on, and I thought that the experience that I had throughout this goal could be very, very helpful for a lot of other people. Because it was one of those projects that you have, one of those things that you really desire, that you have wanted for a while, but that when you think about them, they motivate you because they're like, oh my God, amazing. But on the other side, you're also a bit frustrated because you're not really taking action towards them. I don't know if you have anything like that, but I did. Because for a long time, I have wanted to write a book. And the idea of writing a book was fantastic. I was like, okay, I will be an author, I will share my knowledge, people will be able to learn more. And at the same time, I didn't seem to be able to find the time to do it. And I thought recently about what had stopped me before this time, because now my book will come out very soon. So I did a bit of introspection and thought, okay, what was it that had stopped me? And I think that the reason in that case was that I knew that I wanted it, but I kept putting it off, not being sure why, but telling myself the story that I was too busy in that moment. And that happens very often whenever we have a goal that's huge, that we see like this big mountain, and we just tell ourselves, listen, I'm too busy to climb that mountain today, I'll do it another time. Reality is that if that goal is creating a desire inside, we can make the time. And it's funny to see how that happened for me, because honestly, I was thinking, okay, why did I decide? Like, you know, when you decide and you do things 100% and you're committed to that, you put in the effort, the time, and it happened very randomly somehow, because I had this idea in mind, and recently I had it, no, I need to write a book, I want to write a book, I will write a book. And then one day I was talking with my brother, and my brother told me, but Julia, I saw the PDF that you have with 11 tips to improve your learning method. We should expand it a little bit so that we describe some of those tips a bit better. And I said, yes, why not? I started expanding them, and then 60,000 words later, I have a book. And this has made me think a lot about one thing, about the fact that very often what we have is an idea, but on the other side we have a fear, not of failing, not of being judged, but the fear of not finding the time to do things. Well, what is essential in that case is to create the momentum. It's to start with one thing, start with your 11 tips and expand from that. Start from the center, like if it was, you know, the inner doll of the Russian dolls with all the dolls that are one inside the other. And you start from the inner one, and then you put in another layer, and then another layer, and then another layer, until you expand it and it becomes exactly the masterpiece that you wanted to have. There is an experiment that I've always found very, very fascinating, and that in this situation has really triggered something for me. And it's this. There was a group of people, the participants, that were asked to choose whether the following week at an event they would like to eat a healthy snack or unhealthy snack. That's why I call it apple and cake experiment. And the interesting thing, there's many interesting things, but the interesting thing in this situation is that the majority of people, when they were asked what they would like to eat the following week, unless they were very, very hungry in that moment, they chose apples. So they went for the healthy choice because they knew that for their body, the apple would be a healthier choice, a better choice. But then, when the event arrived, they were told that they could choose again. So regardless of what they had chosen before, they could make another choice, any choice they wanted. And the majority of people in that case chose the cake. And I've always found this extremely fascinating, because it's like if it was telling us, listen, when you think about your goals, about what you want in the long term, you have a more lucid and clear idea what you actually want. If you make your choice in a moment in which you are hungry or in which you have the temptation there, what will happen is that you will choose the unhealthy choice for you. So if you have a project that you have wanted for a while, that maybe it's one of your usual New Year's resolutions that never get done, but when you think about it, it still moves you, triggers some emotions. It's like, you know, when you have that desire inside to do it, but at the same time you feel that you are postponing, you are putting it off, then ask yourself two things. Number one, what is the small action that I can start with in order to expand on it? Second thing, if my heart knows that I want that apple, how can I remember that I want that apple day after day rather than choosing the cake? Because if we focus on the apple and all the reasons why we want that apple, then it will be much, much easier to overcome all the temptations of the cake. And honestly, I think that that's what has allowed me to write the book during lockdown in 6 weeks. But just because in that moment I thought, okay, that's something that I've wanted for a while. It's true that I'm busy, yes. Am I still busy? Yes. But if I don't make the time for the projects that I have at heart, who else will? How can they get done? And by doing this, you will see that a lot of projects will start taking shape. Thank you for listening. I can't wait to share more videos because it's true that I'm not used to, but I think that everyone's story, when told, resonate with someone else. And so apply, let me know how it goes, and we will talk very soon.